Welcome back to the series where we are exploring serial killers from every state. In this video, we are traveling to Michigan and diving into the gruesome crimes of Carl Eugene Watts. Michigan has been home to many mysteries, but none as dark and chilling as the life and crimes of Carl Eugene Watts, a man whose face seemed ordinary, but behind his eyes lurked something far more sinister. Watts, later dubbed the Sunday morning slasher, terrorized women across multiple states for years, but it all began here in Michigan. Born in Killeen, Texas, in 1953, Carl Eugene Watts relocated with his mother to Michigan after his parents' divorce. As a child, Watts exhibited violent tendencies, but no one could have predicted the horror he would unleash in his later years. Watts's thirst for violence escalated quickly, with his first known attack happening when he was just 15. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Watts embarked on a murderous spree, targeting women across Michigan, Texas, and other states. He would stalk his victims, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, often choosing women at random. His method was brutal and swift, strangling, stabbing, or drowning his victims, sometimes even in broad daylight. His attacks were shockingly brazen, leaving law enforcement scrambling for answers. Despite multiple arrests for assault, Watts managed to slip through the cracks, continuing his reign of terror. It wasn't until 1982, when he was apprehended in Texas, that the full scope of his crimes began to unravel. Watts confessed to over 80 murders, yet the number of confirmed victims remains unclear. What's more shocking is his reasoning. He claimed he was killing to rid the world of evil women. Watts's victims were often young women, ranging in age, appearance, and backgrounds. But what they shared in common was the misfortune of crossing paths with a man who took pleasure in their suffering. His ability to blend into society made him all the more dangerous, a charming facade hiding a predator who took lives without remorse. After his capture, Watts struck a plea deal that spared him the death penalty, agreeing to confess to a dozen murders in Texas in exchange for immunity in Michigan. This deal outraged many, especially those who believed he had committed more murders in Michigan than he was admitting. Despite his confession, Watts would later recant, leaving many families with unanswered questions. Carl Eugene Watts died in 2007 from prostate cancer while serving a life sentence. His death marked the end of one of the most prolific yet lesser-known serial killers in American history. But his legacy of terror still haunts the families of his victims, and the question remains, how many more were there? How many women lost their lives, slipping through the cracks of a system that couldn't stop him in time? Michigan remembers Carl Eugene Watts, not for the man he was, but for the monster he became, a stark reminder that evil can lurk anywhere, even behind the most unsuspecting eyes. Stay tuned for more chilling stories as we uncover the serial killers from every state. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up with the latest in this bone-chilling series.